I'm so frustrated. It's about 3:45 in the morning. Last night I woke up at 3 and couldn't get back to sleep. And considering that I woke up at 2 o'clock and I've been awake ever since, and so 2 nights in a row, only getting about 3 hours sleep. So I don't have a lot of hope for making miles tomorrow, or today, as the case may be, since I think it's almost 4 in the morning. I don't know, blah blah blah, but I don't know, I sure wish I could fall asleep. There's a mouse in the shelter. I got my light that I've kept near my head facing away from me, because if he comes out, he looks at the light and runs away. And then, I don't know if I can see. No, you can't see it because it's still dark out. But I had my rain poncho hanging on a hook right by the entrance. And the wind must have blown it just a little bit to puff the shoulders out. And when I looked over, when I woke up, it looked like a person just standing there. I had a heart attack. Anyway, whatever. I'm still going to try to sleep. I just lie here listening to bugs and the sounds of nature, crickets and cicadas, and no birds. I don't hear any nice bird sounds. Alright, try to sleep. Right, and now the batteries on my headlamp just died. See that? Oh. Yep, and it just clicks off. The red works, but is that going to scare away the mouse? Oh, great. Well, since I don't have a stove, I don't know what's wrong. So the fuel, I bought it at a questionable place. It's a store in Duncannon that it didn't really have much stock. They said they opened 2 weeks ago. And this was a couple weeks ago. It's the first time I opened it, and I'm not surprised if it's not a new canister, if they refilled it and something happened to the seal, because it's leaking. So I cannot use the fuel. So I didn't have a hot meal last night, and I can't have oatmeal this morning, but I have cold things. Lunch I can have cold things. Dinner's going to be a problem. So whatever, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to attempt. So I've got my instant coffee, and I've got a little peanut butter and honey that compliments of a motel. I have dry cereal, these oat squares, and some Cheerios. I don't know which one I'll have. I have some dehydrated pineapples. So I'll be okay for breakfast, but I want my coffee. And the only way I think I can eat it is, drink it cold, is if I sweeten it. So I'm going to try that. It's probably going to be nasty, but it is what it is. I was awake all night. I woke up probably 2 o'clock. It was 2 o'clock. And I couldn't get back to sleep. I saw 4 o'clock, and I was so frustrated. Because the night before, I woke up at 3, and I was awake the whole time. Yesterday, my goal was to get to past Tinker Cliffs, which is another 4 miles from here, and then to camp or go to the shelter around there, and then go into Daleville this afternoon. But that didn't happen. All I could do was 4.4 miles yesterday, because I was going on about 3 hours sleep. So that's very frustrating. I was exhausted, and I don't know how today will go. I don't feel rested. I did fall back asleep, so I went to sleep about 10, woke up at 2, and I've just been dragging. So I don't know. I'm going to have a lazy morning. I might try to fall back asleep for another hour, because I'd rather spend an extra day out here and do small miles today and see what I can do tomorrow than to try to push and hurt myself. So before I pack up my bags, maybe I'll see if I can't fall back asleep for an hour or two. Probably can't. But I don't feel rested right now at all. I feel really still sleepy. I do definitely need to sweeten this. So I'm going to actually put vanilla carnation instant breakfast mix. This is that carnation. And I'm telling you this because I'm assuming that many of you watching are planning on a long distance hike of your own. And I sometimes like to also have instant milk with me also. Just like I bring the quart size bags. I don't bring a whole container of anything. Or the envelopes. Oh, yeah, this is going to be a long day. So I'm going to sweeten this to the point where it's probably mostly carnation instant breakfast with coffee flavor. Otherwise, I'm not sure I can tolerate. Instant coffee itself is usually pretty gross. Let's see how this tastes. Cold instant coffee and carnation mix. All right, drum roll. Oh boy, am I tired. It's not great, but it's fine. It's fine. So, not bad. I'm actually dipping. I've got the cereal, and I'm putting it in the peanut butter, and then dipping it in the honey. Because the cereal's not flavored, it's just oat squares, and they're really good. And then eating that. And that way, I get the honey and the peanut butter, and that will give me some energy. Well, and the coffee's not bad. Not bad at all. As I was sitting here at the picnic table, a tree branch just fell out of the tree over there by the privy. And last night, or early this morning, whatever time it was, I heard one. I was in the shelter and I heard a big crash. A friend of mine, Sir Stops a Lot, you may have heard me mention him. There's a big daddy long legs. He's actually called a harvestman, apparently. Let me see if you can see him. Where'd he go? I don't know if he looks as huge to you, but he's bigger than my hand. Oop, there's another one. They are everywhere. Everywhere. Ah! When I was a kid, before I learned about compassion, don't judge me for this. Please don't judge me. I shouldn't even say this out loud because it's gross. But when I was a child, remember that part, I used to pluck the legs off of Daddy Longlegs, and I'd leave one leg, and then he would just like walk around in circles. I'm not proud of that. Anyway, tree limbs. So Sir Stops a Lot. He flipped. I'm not the only one who didn't attempt to continue just straight northbound. He found himself, I think he was, I don't know how far he got. I think he was still in Virginia. I don't think he got to the Shenandoahs, but I could be wrong. But he flipped up to New York and started heading to Katahdin, and then he'll go back and finish up the miles. Just like my intention. I don't know if he'll be able to do it in one season, but there's a lot of us out there that just keep plugging away with what we can do. But he was at a tenting area. I don't know if he was at a shelter, but there were people hammocking around him, and there were 3 people, and a tree fell. A hammock was between 2 trees, and one of the trees actually fell, and I don't know if it hit him in the hammock, but it did hit a woman who was lying nearby and gave her a concussion. I think she had a cracked vertebrae or something. I don't recall the details, but she was seriously injured. I do believe she's been released and she's okay. She did not die, and I do believe she's going to make a full recovery. Last year, there was a girl who was in her tent, and I don't know if it was a limb or the tree itself fell and hit her head. She lost her ear. That's horrific. But I hear these stories over and over, and I hear them. And if you remember just a couple videos ago, I was in the shelter, and when I woke up, there was a full tree down covering the trail leading to the shelter that was not there when I arrived the day before. So that's something that happens, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize all these trees and tree limbs that are down on the trail and in the woods were not cut down, they fell down. So that's kind of scary. Coffee is actually not bad at all. I might just do that from now on. It's faster. So today, looking at my guidebook, here, let me get it for you. Oh, remind me. Oh, how are you going to remind me? That was a silly thing to say. This little notebook here. And in there are some of the notes that I wrote before I started my hike. And, some during. Not too much journaling because I'm just too tired. But that page right there, I want to share with you. Not right now because I'm still trying to wake up and I'm focused on my journey for today. So this is the AT guide. Okay. So basically, I started, where's Springer Mountain? Right here. This is the whole Appalachian Trail. So the trail goes here. Right? All the way up to Maine. Up here. So I started at Springer Mountain and I got to Hot Springs. And that's where I had to step off to wear that dang-fangled boot on my foot. I took a Greyhound bus to Waynesboro, so I missed this whole section. From Waynesboro, I continued on, and I walked through here, Maryland, West Virginia, and I got to about here, north of Duncannon and south of Pine Grove, so right in that area. So rather than continue to Maine, right, which is basically the second half of the trail, and have this huge gap down here, Waynesboro, Hot Springs, I'd like to have a nice straight line all the way from the southern terminus to Pennsylvania where I stopped. And then I can do that next year or the year after, or more than likely I hope to be gainfully employed and not be able to take a few months off. Or hit the lottery so I don't have to work and I can just volunteer places the rest of my life and serve people and take time off to do things like this. But anyway, so I got up to Pennsylvania, decided not to continue with the through hike because it would take me till January and I'm not willing to be away from my family for that long. So I actually went to Florida with my friends, the Trail Angels, from day 6. If you look at that video, they saw that I was really feeling defeated and was going to quit. I'm sorry, I'm starting to tear up because of it already. I hate that. Gee, I thought I came to terms with it. Okay, breathe. Okay, so I was ready to just quit and bail out completely. But they put me on an Amtrak and brought me to Florida, where I stayed at Mary Helen's house and swam and in her pool and enjoyed their company and got revived. And they brought me back here, and I'm here now. So we started here, and I was just going to hike to Springer Mountain and then have this entire area from Springer up to Pennsylvania complete. And that's what I'm doing. Right now I'm heading north to Waynesboro, and then I'm going to Stanimals, where I did the work this day, and I'll spend a night there, and he'll drive me back here. It's about an hour and a half. And then I'm just going to continue south to Hot Springs, where it is. So that's what I'm doing right now, that section. And that's what my half a through hike will be. It'll be half. So for today, boy, I just got off track, didn't I? I'll aim for 15 miles. It's doable, but if it's really rocky, especially those downhills, those hurt my knees and my feet. And it's not the end of the world if I just do 6 miles today and get to Daleville tomorrow. I'll just eat cold food. I'll have cereal for dinner. Whatever. as long as I have a good time. And you know what? I have to tell you, that's what I love most about making this decision. I am very disappointed that this is not a through hike, but I have the opportunity now with no pressure to just enjoy my hike. My new goal is half a through hike. Coming back to Virginia, in my opinion, is the most beautiful part. It's just spectacular. Look at the photos from McAfee Knob, and Tinker Cliffs, I heard, is even more beautiful, and Dragon's Tooth, and just everything about it. Grayson Highlands, which I'm looking forward to. So I came back with the attitude that the miles I've already done, if I went home without doing the Triple Crown, which was Dragon's Tooth, Tinker Cliff, and McAfee Knob, and then going to see Grayson Highland and hiking with the wild ponies. If I didn't see those 4 things, I would regret it. The reality is that once I get home, I need to find a job, and the chance of my getting out here for any type of long distance hike is slim to none for quite a while, and that's okay, as long as I find work that I enjoy. But I knew that if I didn't see those 4 things, that I would regret that. So that's my goal, and anything past Grayson Highlands, McAfee Knob, Tinker Cliffs, and Dragon's Tooth, anything else is bonus miles. I'll just keep walking to fill in the miles that I missed, that I skipped, and if I cover all of them in addition to what I already did, I will have done half the Appalachian Trail. And if not, I will find peace in my heart, here I go again, to accept that that's good enough. I do know that, so you don't need to worry and make comments about, oh, don't feel bad. It's okay. It's just, it's still new to me and still disappointing. I think that if I had made the decision to abort a through hike and I didn't cry and I didn't get upset and I didn't feel blue about it, then that wouldn't be normal, I don't think. I don't think most people could just say, oh, well, plan B. It hurts. The process hurts a lot. But I don't cry all the time, just when I actually say it out loud. And when I'm actually hiking in this area, I am so blessed. I feel so grateful. This slow body of mine, with all its aches and pains, has gotten me this far. I'm so blessed, and I feel so full of gratitude for my family and to my legs and to myself, frankly, for daring to even try this and get as far as I have, and who knows how much farther I'll go. So I don't feel horrible about it. I'm fine with it. I'm accepting it. But it is disappointing. It is, something that will take a little bit of time to get past the disappointment of, but I am absolutely just fine about it. So I've already, of the 4 things I wanted to see, I've already checked 2 off the list, Dragon's Tooth and McAfee Knob. So today is Tinker Cliffs, that's only about 4 miles away. And then I'm continuing to Waynesboro, Virginia. That'll take about a week, I think, something like that, maybe 12 days, 7, I don't know, and depends on how I sleep and how I walk. And then Adam will bring me back here, and I'll walk to as close to Hot Springs as I can get, seeing the ponies along the way. So for now, I'm going to finish this cold coffee and pack up and hit the trail. together, and I'm heading to Tinker Cliffs. I get my trekking poles, get all these tree roots here. Seems like it's going to be another hot day. If it stays just like this, that would be great, but I doubt it. Ah, daddy long legs on my trekking poles. Get off. Get off. Okay. I gotta make sure I get the white blaze. Got everything. Yeah, I didn't go back to sleep. I'll just do the best that I can today. I will probably just go to the first shelter at 6 miles, which stinks that I can't. I'd like to go like 10 or 11 miles and then just pitch my tent. But that's not allowed, and I need to follow the rules so I don't have to put a shout out and ask somebody to bail me out of jail. So let's see, Tinker Cliffs is supposed to be spectacular, so I hope that the rumor is correct.